Everyone talks about the IRS like they're the enemy. And, well, usually they are.
But if you were born between 1962 and 1965, something weird is happening in 2025. The IRS is actually giving you a gift, a pretty massive one. We are talking about the ability to stuff roughly $30,000 to $34,000 into your 401k, legally.
In a single year. It's called the super catch-up. Terrible name, I know.
The math is beautiful. But here is the catch, and this is why you need to watch until the end. Not every employer is going to offer this immediately.
There is a specific high earner trap that might catch you off guard if you don't know the rules.
Let's break down the 2025 wealth window.
So let's set the stage. Why is the government doing this? They know that Gen X and late boomers are facing a retirement crisis.
Inflation has eaten away at savings.
The standard 401k limit is great, but for many of you, it's not enough to move the needle anymore.
Enter the catch-up contribution. Historically, once you turned 50, you got a flat bonus.
In 2024, that was $7,500. So if you were 50 or 55 or 65, you all got the same deal.
But the Secure 2.0 Act said, wait, someone who is 60 is in a much bigger rush than someone who is 50. And that is where the rules split. Let's look at the actual numbers, because this is where the magic happens. If you are 58 years old in 2025, you get the standard limit plus the standard catch-up. That totals around $31,000. Not bad. But if you are 61 years old in 2025, you get that standard limit, but your catch-up changes. The rule says it is 150% of the 2024 catch-up limit.
Let's do the math. 7,500 times 1.5 equals $11,250. That means your total contribution room jumps to nearly $35,000. That is an extra $3,000 to $4,000 purely in tax-sheltered space, just because of your age. Multiply that over the 4-year window, ages 60, 61, 62, and 63. And you are looking at an extra $12,000 to $15,000 sheltered from taxes compared to your younger peers. That could easily grow to an extra $30,000 or $40,000 over a retirement timeline. But listen to me, this is critical. This window has a hard open and a hard close. It applies to taxable years beginning after December 31st, 2024. And it applies specifically to individuals who have attained ages 60, 61, 62, or 63. Here is the bizarre part of the law. Once you turn 64, technically you fall off the cliff. You go back to the lower standard catch-up limit.
I know, it makes zero sense. Why punish a 64-year-old? Some experts think Congress might fix this glitch later. But for now, we have to assume the law is the law.
You have a 4-year sprint. Treat it like a sprint.
Now let's talk about the high earners, those making over $145,000 in wages. The government wants to force your catch-up contributions into a Roth account. They want their tax cut today. But because of the administrative delay I mentioned earlier, 2025 is likely your tax arbitrage year.
Why does this matter? If you are earning $200,000 or $300,000 now, you are likely in the 32% or 35% tax bracket. If you retire in 5 years, you might drop down to the 12% or 22% bracket. Direct, urgent. If you are forced to do Roth now, you pay 35% tax on that money. Ouch! But if you can sneak it into pre-tax in 2025 thanks to this delay, you save 35% now and only pay 12% or 22% later when you pull it out. That spread, that is instant risk-free return on your money. Do not miss the 2025 pre-tax window. It is literally free money. Okay, I've given you the good news. Now the bad news. Just because the law allows this super catch-up doesn't mean your employer has to offer it.
Catch-up contributions are technically optional for plans to offer.
But implementing this specific age 60 to 63 logic into payroll systems is complicated. I am seeing some smaller employers saying, we aren't ready for this yet. We're just sticking to the standard limit. So don't assume it's automatic. If you just set your contribution percentage to max, their system might cap you.
At the lower limit, because it doesn't know you were 61.
You need to manually check your pay stubs in January and February 2025. If they stop taking money out early, you need to knock on HR's door.
One quick tip for my married viewers. Direct, urgent, if both you and your spouse are in this 60 to 63 window and you are both high earners.
We are talking about nearly $70,000 of tax-deferred savings in one household. That could reduce your taxable income enough to potentially drop you into a lower tax bracket this year.
Direct, urgent. Run the numbers with your CPA.
I'll repeat the strategy I mentioned earlier because it's vital. Asset shifting.
If you can't live on the smaller paycheck, subsidize your life with your savings account. Direct, urgent. Drain the taxable bucket to fill the tax-free bucket. It feels scary to see your checking account drop, but your net worth is growing faster because you are cutting out the tax man. 2025 is going to be a messy year for tax changes. But messiness creates opportunity for those who are paying attention.
You are now part of the 1% who actually understands the super catch-up.
Go check your birth year. If it's 62, 63, 64, or 65, it's go time. I've got a full guide on how to withdraw from your 401k tax-free coming up next.
Direct, urgent, which pairs perfectly with this strategy. Click right here to watch it.
And don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep more of what you earn. Thanks for watching.